Okay, so our middle school program is for students in grades 6 through 8. Our middle school courses include English language arts, mathematics, science, French, social studies, arts, and physical education. English language arts, math, French, and PE are taking place each day of the week. And science, social studies, and art are typically taking place 2 to 3 times a week. We develop our middle school schedule around the requirements of the set by the Ontario Ministry of Education. For students applying to a middle school program, there is an interview component and requirement. The interview can be completed in person, perhaps during a school visit, but most often or not, it's completed in a virtual scenario. This is an opportunity for us to simply get to know the student, to find out what their interests are, to find out what their attitudes are towards teaching and learning. And this is also an opportunity for the student maybe to ask us any questions about what they can expect their life to be like at Fulford Academy. The interview takes place once an application has been submitted successfully and once we have all of the required application items. Our middle school program is really set up to prepare students for high school. Because we are a school that starts at grade 6 and goes all the way up to grade 12, we tend to treat our middle school students like mature students. We have high expectations of them so that they are well prepared for that transition from middle school to high school, from grade 8 to grade 9. Because we certainly know what it takes for them to be successful at that next level. Okay, so our high school program is designed for students in grades 9 through 12. The school year is divided into 2 semesters, from September to January and from February to June each year. And students typically complete 4 courses per semester. In terms of course selection in grades 9 and 10 in Ontario, it's pretty cut and dry. The Ministry of Education basically says, these are the courses that you must take. But when students get to grades 11 and 12, they can be much more selective in what they want to do. They can focus on the math and sciences if they want to, or the arts. It really depends on what their intentions are after high school. But more importantly, during grades 11 and 12, students are going to take the prerequisite courses applicable to the college or university program they anticipate on applying for, once they reach that grade 12 level. In our high school program, there's also an interview requirement for students applying, but in addition to the interview requirement, there is also an English entrance assessment for students whose first language is not English. We want to make sure that we are setting up our students to be successful in our high school program. And so being successful means being able to access the learning content and being able to, have a solid grasp of the English language, of course. So we use benchmark scores from assessments such as IELTS and TOEFL, as well as the Duo English test, otherwise known as the DET. So if a student applicant has never completed an English assessment before and they don't have one that they can submit along with their application, we can simply just send them an online assessment that they can complete right from home. And then we typically receive those results within 24 or 48 hours, and we can use those marks to determine if that student is eligible to enter our high school academic program. To earn the OSSD, students must complete a minimum of 30 credits. They must also complete the literacy requirement, which typically takes place in students' grade 10 year in a standardized assessment. If they don't have an opportunity to write that assessment in their grade 10 year, or perhaps they were unsuccessful in that attempt, students can complete a course in grade 12 to make sure that they meet that literacy requirement. Students also have to complete a minimum of 40 community service hours during their high school career. And I'm going to speak a little bit more about that later in our open house, as well as more about our post-secondary preparation.